The role of fusion centers in identifying and preventing threats in the homeland is a critical piece of what we do.
It's our goal to make sure that the small little agencies that don't have the ability to reach out, we can be that amplifier for them.
Because the only way to prevent an event from happening is to be ahead of it.
The mission of the Fusion Center is to be the conduit and the amplifier for the local, state, and federal agencies and our tribal partners and private sector partners.
What can we do to put the right people in the right place to prevent them from carrying out their acts? And what I really mean by that is not so much as using a news feed to identify an emerging group, but being truly preventative, where we're using trends and predictions to look at what these organizations or entities may be planning to do down the road, and then taking appropriate steps to blockade or prevent their ability to formulate a plan and carry out that attack.
Within a local jurisdiction, we know that we can do things to gather intelligence, to gather information, to get out in front of that threat and be proactive in terms of prevention.
And fusion centers are really about people, and it's about people networking together, about people knowing who to talk to, about people knowing how to go and search databases, about people knowing how to do that within their respective AORs. And then most importantly, they're able to share that information not only within their own agency, but within agencies within their AOR and within all the federal agency community.
Law enforcement obviously can't be everywhere, and it's good to have eyes and ears out there in the private sector that can look for these indications of possible terrorism or possible threats.
Way of our terrorism liaison officers and law enforcement and health, EMS, the hospitals, it's all integrated in that way into the community. So something that could be missed out here by, say, someone in patrol or at a hospital, in a single incident may not make that much difference, but when you put all that together and have all the resources at your fingertips and kind of put those tips and leads together and they start to fit into a pattern, the Fusion Center is where that happens, the only place that happens.
Being able to use things like the Nationwide Suspicious Activity Reporting Initiative, the NSI, to identify those behaviors that are indicative of pre-terrorist activity or pre-criminal activity, to be able to find those threats before they actually are able to act and harm our nation. That's a key component of what we do as a national network of fusion centers.
And the beauty of it is that what might make no sense to you or I might make a lot of sense to somebody from a faith-based organization. The tip or lead that comes through, and I look at it and say, looks fine to me. Somebody else in the Fusion Center is going to know exactly what that tip and lead represents, and they will know exactly how to treat it.
To bring different walks of industry across the whole infrastructure sector of businesses, hospitals, emergency responders, federal, state, local level agencies, to deal and establish a common capability to push and pull information back and forth.
Fusion centers are instrumental in collecting information and determining that there's a component of that information that becomes intelligence, and then sharing that with the appropriate partners and allowing those partner agencies to get out in front of an incident or event before it occurs.
I can think of one example that occurred about 2 years ago where a CHP officer, California Highway Patrol officer in Northern California, pulled a vehicle over for a simple traffic stop. But as he's approaching the car, he actually sees an expended shell embedded in the wiper blades of the vehicle. Calls up our center, runs the names. They had minor and misdemeanor outstanding warrants. Turns out those two people in that car were major suspects in an ongoing kidnapping investigation in the East Coast.
The Fusion Center is the instrumental component of making sure that we are communicating across jurisdictions, across boundaries, across disciplines in today's 21st century of combating terrorism and modern policing.
We all live in the communities that we're sworn to protect. And our families live here, our friends live here, so we have a vested interest in protecting our communities.
We're helping a variety of partners, local, state, federal, law enforcement, private sector, to protect the United States.